What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. In this one, we're looking at my watch list ahead of game week 8. So this is looking at some players that I might bring in, not necessarily just this week, but over the next coming weeks. Either they've got good fixtures, they've been performing well, or I just think they're going to get me some FPL points over the next few weeks. Because it is my watch list, it is based on my team. So any of the players you see in my team right now are obviously not going to be included in this video. So you can see which ones I already think are good options. But in this one, I want to explore ones that I might bring in soon. So if you enjoy it, give it a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and let's jump into it. Okay, so first up on the list is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, I don't own him. I sold him on Wildcard. I'm sure some people did the same, or they maybe even just sold him last week because they didn't have much of a defense and they wanted to get someone else in. But he's easily the best defender in the game, right? In my opinion, there's not even a debate to be had about it. Because he's nailed on, because he's going to get you minutes every single week pretty much, he is the best option in the game for defense, even though he's 7.5 million. The big question, and while I've included him in this video, although it might be obvious that he should be on everyone's watch list when you don't own him, is the question is, when do you bring him back in? Now, I can do it in one move. I've left myself enough money to do it, and Watford away looks pretty nice. Like, if I know that Trent is going to be absolutely fit for that game and he's going to start, there could be big points in that. There definitely could be a clean sheet. There definitely could be attacking returns as well. But then he runs into Man United away, and again, everyone will be saying Man United have been rubbish, like under Solskjaer, they're awful. I get that, but there's nothing to say that Man United can't score in this game. So a clean sheet looks much more difficult when you've got to go to Old Trafford and get it. Brighton at home, again, their attack is not fantastic. They're a good team overall. They don't concede many goals, but the the attack isn't that great. So again, could be a clean sheet there. So already I'm saying in the next 3 game weeks, there could be 2 clean sheets. The thing is, for my team, I already own Chelsea and Man City defenders, and I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat, right? So if I bring up my team here a sec before we look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, you could easily play, although there are a couple of away games, you could easily play your Chelsea defenders, Brentford, Norwich and Newcastle, and even Burnley. So for 4 weeks, they're absolutely fine. Similar with Man City, Burnley at home, Brighton away, Crystal Palace at home. So I could play these 4 defenders every week, as long as they start. Obviously, there are question marks over Laporte. Azpilicueta might get a rest at some point, you never know. But and the same with Cancelo, of course. But essentially, I could play 3 of these 4 every single week for the next 3 game weeks. So then the question comes, do I need to get Trent Alexander-Arnold in? Obviously, that's Van Dijk, but they've got the same fixtures. For an away game when he's only just back from injury. Then it's Man United away. And they've also got West Ham away as well. So it's 3 away games in the next 4. And that's not me sitting here kind of saying, you know, he's no good for those games, he's not going to get you any points, because I definitely think he will, and he is the best defender in the game, there's no doubt about it. But in a few weeks where I've got some really nice defenders, I don't know if I need him straight back. I don't know if I need to use the transfer. The only kind of trap that I can foresee is you don't get him back in straight away, you save your transfers, they end up having to be used on something else, and then you struggle to get him back in. From game week 13, when they got Southampton at home, it's then Everton away, Wolves away, Villa at home, Newcastle at home. I feel like he's got to be in at this point because this fixture run is just too nice. There's some tricky games in there, but overall it's a pretty nice fixture run. I just wonder if I can get away with it for the next couple of game weeks, because if he is back for game week 8, how fit will he be? How long can he last? Obviously, if he gets over 60 minutes then comes off, then you're in dreamland. But Man United away is not that great. So I actually feel like I might wait until game week 10. But he's firmly on the watch list. If you're in the same position as me, you've got Chelsea and Man City defenders. It's not about kidding yourself that Trent is not a good option, because we all know he is, but I think there's potential to get away with it for a couple more weeks and maybe get him in either in game week 10, or then I think you skip that and you get him in game week 12 or 13 for Arsenal or Southampton at home. But obviously he's on the watch list. For anyone that doesn't own him, you've got to be thinking about him. At some point he's going to have to come back in. It's just a question of when. Every single season since Heung-min Son came into the Premier League to Spurs, he has been consistent. Now, when he first came into the league, he wasn't always played every single week, and there was a bit of rotation. You didn't know if he was going to be in the team or out of the team, at least for a little bit along the way. But when he plays, he's got points the whole way through, right? He's always been good, and he's continuing to do that. And he has been, what everyone else always says to me, he's probably been slept on a little bit. He has played 6 games. He's got 42 points. He's averaging 7 points a game. He's had 10 shots in the box so far this season. His expected goals, expected assists are pretty decent. We know he's a decent finisher as well. And he has had some tough games. So he's already had to play against Chelsea, already played Arsenal away. It was Man City at home on the first day of the season, or the first game week of the season. Obviously, he did score in that one as well. So he's done really well, right? The main issue with him right now for me is that he's £10 million. And when you've got Salah and Lukaku, right now, because we haven't got a huge amount of squad value yet, which we will build up as the season goes on, it's difficult to fit him in as well. But he is kind of in that bracket of like him and Jamie Vardy and Aubameyang around that 10 million price where maybe you could try and fit them in alongside two other premiums. I think for me, like if I had him, I'd absolutely be holding him for Newcastle away. I think West Ham away, Man United at home. He's the kind of player that's going to score in those games. If they get a chance on the break, he's the one. And it just doesn't seem to matter what the formation is, whether he's playing up front, whether he's playing off the left, whether he's playing really wide and hugging the touchline, what manager he's got, he just always gets points. I just think, for me, if I had a spare transfer and I happened to have a few million in the bank where I could get him in one move, you could possibly look at getting him in game week 8. People on wildcard should definitely be having a look at him. I'm not saying he's a must own or you have to have him in your team, but you need to at least consider it. If not, from game week 12, we've got to seriously look at that because that fixture run is absolutely ridiculous. So if I just bring Son up here and go to the fixtures, so these are the ones we're just talking about now, the next 4. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. Newcastle away, West Ham away, United at home, Everton away. Again, not bad to own him for these. It's just 3 out of 4 away fixtures plus 1 against Man United. It might be overthinking it a little bit, but this run here is just so crazy good. Leeds, Brentford and Norwich. Now, Brentford maybe aren't quite as good as fixture as Leeds and Norwich, but to have those 3 at home in the span of 4 game weeks, I've said this before, he is nailed on. He's pretty much going to play 80 to 90 minutes every single week. In fact, let's see what he's done so far. He played 71 against Wolves, but I think that was the week where he was slightly injured at the end of that game. 4 of the games he's played 90 minutes, and the other one was 87. He's as nailed on as it gets in that Spurs team. And this run just looks ridiculous. And to be honest, this is what I've been trying to kind of say to people, right? I don't really use form. So I don't really care that I am taking a bit of note because he has got 42 points from 6 games, right? But even if he went and blanked in the next 4 games, the 4 game weeks, 8 to 11, I would still consider him bringing him in because we know what a quality player he is and we know how good those fixtures are. Leeds and Norwich at home are just so good. They are such poor defences. So I'm already formulating a plan possibly to get him in here. And one of the ways to maybe do it is to get rid of Lukaku because he could be the captain in Game Week 9 and Game Week 11 for me, but then I don't know when I'm going to captain him in this run. Like Leeds at home would be nice, but to keep him for 4 fixtures before that, one is Leicester away, one's Man United at home, one's West Ham away. Like obviously people will say he can score in those fixtures, I get that, but as always, the chance of points in this fixture run is much better than the chance of points in this fixture run, so I don't know if I'll be able to get him back for that Leeds at home fixture. Plus it's a long way away, so I've not given it a massive amount of thought yet. We're thinking really far ahead. But if I look at the other fixtures that week, Man United have got Norwich away, so Fernandes or Ronaldo could be captain options as well. Salah's at home to Villa, so it's not like we're without options completely. And so Lukaku looks good, but for that 4 run of fixtures for Son, that might be the way to bring him in. So there's by that point, we're thinking ahead, right? But you've got to do that in FPL. We're looking ahead to game week 12. By that point, Calvert-Lewin could be back, Bamford could be back, Tony, Armstrong, Pukki, maybe Morpay still doing really well, maybe Jesus is still an option. There's quite a few forwards that you could downgrade Lukaku to, then you could upgrade one of your midfielders to Son. So I'm strongly looking at that. We have to take notice. Once again, he's having a good season. Forget about Spurs issues, forget about the manager. Son, when he plays, which he always does well, and Newcastle away is a good fixture to bring him in for. I don't know for my team if that works. In fact, it just doesn't work. It'd have to be for a -4, and I'm not willing to do that. But from game week 12, he is firmly on the watch list, and I'd really like to own him. And Kane should not be written off either. I just think for my team, Son will be easier to get to. So I spoke yesterday about Man City in overall. Like I spoke about the defenders, midfielders, obviously Jesus as well, as options for our FPL teams. But for my team, I've kind of narrowed it down to Foden on the watch list. Now, I don't know if I'm going to bring him in for all the reasons I spoke about yesterday. Like, if I just go to this screen, hopefully, yeah, we can see the fixtures here for Man City. So they've got Burnley at home. Obviously, that comes after the international break. So we'll have to see who gets what minutes over the break and what the likely lineup is for Burnley. But as soon as that game's done, on the Tuesday, they then have to travel and play Champions League. And then it's back to Brighton away, which is a tougher fixture than Burnley at home. So there is potential, unless Pep wants to keep rhythm and stuff going in the team, for some changes against Burnley, which is possibly an issue for our FPL teams, right? And why Foden is maybe... it's not that he's a bad option. It's just I don't know which games he's going to play in every week, and I don't know if I want that kind of stress when the team sheet kind of comes out. But we also see sometimes players, it's almost like they become favourites with Pep and then they play every single game regardless. Obviously, he missed some games at the start of the season and he has made some sub appearances. That's why things like his points per match aren't that great. So I'm not really worried about that. But his numbers are already ridiculous again. 0.59 expected goal involvement per 90. Very similar numbers to last year. His ownership's low. People are always put off by going for Man City players. Now, in one regard, that's a good thing. Those managers should be slightly put off by rotation risk. But if you can nail the right one, then he could be the one. FPL Acumen, who I think I mentioned on a video earlier this week, tweeted me a clip from the Man City podcast on The Athletic with Sam Lee, and he was speculating, he was saying something like, maybe Grealish is rested after the international break, or his drop sounds a bit harsh, it's like he's done something bad, but maybe he comes out of the team because Torres finally gets a game, and then you can't play Grealish on the left because you've got to play Foden because it's so good. It was something like that he said, and we saw it last year. Once Foden got into the team ahead of Sterling, he was first choice. He was the first choice left winger, and he was very good. So I wonder if that's the case now. We've seen Grealish play as a 9 against Liverpool to accommodate Foden on the wing. Foden started on the right, then he moved to the left. And we've also seen Grealish play in the middle as an 8 as well. So it could be Grealish and De Bruyne in there possibly. Or maybe Grealish stays as the number 9. I doubt it, but you never know with Pep. So I feel like Foden probably is going to get a run of games. The problem is with the Champions League mixed in. So they've got Burnley, Champions League, Brighton, EFL Cup, then Palace, then Champions League again. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next 6 fixtures, they only play Premier League games 3 times. So is he going to get, how many starts is he going to get for Burnley, Brighton and Palace? He may only get 2 starts, and then is that enough? And if the 2 starts are Brighton and Palace, do I really want to waste a transfer getting him in this week? So it's almost like the devil and the angel on the shoulder. Part of me, the devil, really wants to get Phil Foden because I know he's direct and I know he's got an eye for goal. Like he's more likely to take a shot in the box than someone like Jack Grealish, I think. So I like him for that regard. And obviously he has looked good. He was brilliant last year. He's looked good again so far this season with the minutes he's got. And I just think Burnley at home and Palace at home are just such good fixtures for Man City. They could easily score 3, 4, 5 goals in those fixtures, especially the Burnley game, by the way. They always put a low past Burnley at home. But then the other side is saying, well, he might not start. He might get taken off early. He might come on, if he's benched, he might come on as a cameo. Do you really want to get rid of Saka? He's got 4 home fixtures in the next 6, starting with Crystal Palace at home. I don't know if I do, but the temptation is there. Plus, the way my team is set up over the next few weeks, I don't have a massive amount of transfers to make. Like, if I just bring up my team now quickly, again, like this is it now. The defence is fine. The midfield is all good as well. So is the attack. I don't need many transfers. The last time I said that, though, I got loads of flags the next week, and I ended up having to wildcard earlier than I really wanted to. But I don't really have too many transfers. So Saka out to not spend the money on Trent and go to Foden is very tempting. I just don't know if I can do it, but the temptation's there. And if you haven't got a Man City attacker and you're looking for one, this might be the time to do it because the fixture run is great. There we go. Let me know what you think about the players I spoke about. If you haven't got Trent Alexander-Arnold, when are you getting him back? If you haven't got Son, are you even bothered? Do you even want him? Are you getting him this week? Are you going to wait till game week 12? And what about Foden, right? We know Man City are going to score loads of goals. We know someone has to score them. Will it be Foden? Will it be Grealish? Will it be Jesus? Will it be Torres? Will it be De Bruyne? Will it be Bernardo Silva? Will it be Gundogan? Will it be Rodri? Will it be Cancelo? Will it be Diaz? Will it be Laporte? Will Stones come back in? I don't know. Let me know who you think in the comments below. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you again soon.